What up, YouTube family? Top of the morning. Quick video. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Got some good words of wisdom for y'all. So check it out. Is trucking dead? Is trucking dead? A lot of truck drivers are saying that trucking is dead, and they're going out selling all their equipment, all the owner-operators, and they're running from the career that made them who they were. They're running from what made them be able to take care of their family, enjoy life, go on beautiful vacations, and do things that other people can't do. All because of trucking. Is trucking dead? No. Buckle up your seatbelts, guys. It's gonna be a wild one. I've been driving trucks for over 10 years. I love this industry. It changed my life. It saved me from living in poverty and low-paying jobs. I experienced a million things with trucking. A lot of drivers are complaining about the rates being down right now because everybody got spoiled in 2020 and 2021 with the rates being so high and work being so consistent. In the past few years, we haven't experienced the normal slow season like we usually do. Every real trucker knows that from the end of December to the beginning of March, trucking sucks. And due to the Chinese New Year, work is slow. In all my 10 years of trucking, I never seen work so consistent and rates so good. What we have been experiencing lately is that the rates are going back to normal for owner-operators and they're not happy. A lot of people got spoiled. Even when the rates were down, we are still making more money than we made before the pandemic started in 2020. But the problem is, fuel is out of control, and the president isn't doing anything about it. It used to cost me $850 to fill up my day cab. Now it's almost $1,050 to fill up. And don't forget about DEF. If you have DEF in your truck, it's about 60 bucks. And a lot of drivers aren't happy, but if you're an owner-operator, the beautiful thing about putting gas in your truck, it's a tax write-off. I got an oil change and a mud flap replaced. They charged me $600 for that. I can't get mad at the repair shop for charging me so much, because guess what? Oil went up, parts went up. A lot of parts are on back order, so they have to charge us accordingly to the market. They can't charge us what we used to get charged a few years ago because they'll go out of business. And on top of everything, everybody knows that truckers have been making way more money than we have before. And we're going to get charged out of this world wherever we go. But this is the game we chose to play. And as a business owner, the more repairs for my truck and the more money I spend on my truck, that helps me during taxes. We are business owners, and those deductions help us a lot because we make a lot of money over the year. Do I enjoy doing this? Yes. Because when you get into big boy trucking and you get your own authority and become a carrier, it's a part of your game group. Do I allow myself to get discouraged at times? Never. I've been driving for 10 years. I've seen way worse situations in the trucking industry than what we have been experiencing. Trucking sucks right now. But what do you do about it? Do you cry about it? Or you make a way? And will it get better? Of course it will. It always does. When I first got my Class A, I was making 16 cents per mile doing training. I won't name the company. Once I got my Class A, I got bumped up to 28 cents per mile. When I was making money, the pay sucked. But I seen the bigger picture and always knew what my end game was and what the goal was. And eventually I was going to get a better paying job. When you first start truck driving, it sucks. Big time. It really, really sucks when you first start driving and you're training and you're dealing with a trainer. A lot of people don't like that. But luckily for me, I had one of the best trainers ever. Taught me the skills I needed to know to survive out here. And most of all, one of the most important things in the world, he taught me how to become a good backer. And most companies nowadays don't have good trainers for drivers. They have new company drivers that's been on board for about 3 months that don't have any experience in rain, snow, bad wind, icy roads, and they're training people and sending them out. And what does that do? That puts a bad name for the trucking industry because a lot of those new drivers are crashing. A lot of those new drivers are getting tickets and making it harder for drivers that actually care about this game and want to do big things with it. When I first started driving, I wanted to quit at times. I was away from my family. I had a 3-year-old at the time, but I had to make that sacrifice so I can give him the life that I didn't grow up having. And was that year on the road worth it? Yes, absolutely. And would I do it again if I had to? Of course. Because driving trucks back then was way better than making $7.58, $8 an hour in California working at a fast food joint or a warehouse. I experienced all kind of gigs, but the job that I love more than anything is driving trucks. It's peaceful. I don't have nobody hounding me. I don't have anybody forcing me to do anything I don't want to do. There's no such thing as forced dispatch in trucking. If you don't want to do a load, don't do it. And guess what? If you don't like the company, you have a Class A license, that's power right there. You can go anywhere in the world that has trucks and that's looking for truck drivers and get a job. If you want to get up and move to the other side of the country, you could. Guess what? As soon as you start looking for jobs, you'll be able to find one with the quickness. It's not hard. And a lot of jobs right now are competing for truck drivers, and it's kind of like a bidding war for drivers and owner-operators, because a lot of companies know that owner-operators are not going to go to you if you don't have high rates. But one thing about this trucking, even when work's consistent and busy, the rates go up and down. That's part of the game. What you got to do is when the rates are up, make as much money as you can and save. You got to save for rainy days so you won't drown when work is slow. Because all those people that as soon as you get that fat check, guess what happens? You spend that money so quick. And is that good being a business owner? No. Always pay yourself first. If it's $500, $1,000, whatever it is, always pay yourself first as a business owner. Some weeks you're going to be able to pay yourself more. Some weeks you ain't going to be able to pay yourself more. Some weeks you might have a $7,000 week. The next week you might have a $3,500 week. But guess what? If you're saving and doing what you're supposed to do with your business, you'll be all right. Is a recession coming? Yes, I believe so. My personal opinion, the way the world is turning, a recession is coming. And the ones that's going to make it in this trucking industry as a company driver, owner, operator, even if you're a lease purchase, are the hustlers in this game. The guys that's not scared to go bounce around and from working the ports to the refrigerated side to the dry side to intermodal, heavy hauling, flatbed. Those guys that are not going to be afraid to bounce around, those are the guys that's going to make it. And as an owner operator, you should be signed up with at least 4 or 5 companies. So when work gets slow in one area, you'll have a backbone and you can bounce around and get work from other places. But a lot of people, they cry. And that's the number one thing I learned about truck driving. When I was over the road, going into the driver's lounge, watching TV, all I would hear is truck drivers cry about the rates, work, they don't like this, they don't like that. Switch companies. Dispatchers, they don't get along with, switch companies. They don't like pulling dry van or refrigerated. Guess what? Go work the intermodal, go work the ports, go work flatbed. But the average person in today's society does not want to work. And that's a given. They're saying that it's a truck driver shortage. There's no truck driver shortage. Truck drivers are finally standing up for themselves because we deserve high pay. And truckers been trucking ever since the beginning of the pandemic. We haven't really had no time off with trucking. I know I haven't personally. Ever since the pandemic, 2020, 2021, and 2022, I made the most money in my life being in the trucking industry. I haven't had a break. I've been working consistently 5-6 days a week since the beginning of 2020. And once we did the lockdown and all that good stuff, guess what? We didn't experience a slow season and have problems. We were trucking. Fast forward to 2021, January, February, March, April, work was busy, really busy. Then fast forward to December, it kind of got a little shaky, but it picked up, and rates got where they needed to be for us, and the money was flowing in. But what a lot of people don't know is China has been on a lockdown due to COVID. With China being on lockdown, a lot of vessels aren't going into the ports like they usually do. So once those vessels don't hit the ports, that slows down everything in the U.S. in the trucking industry. Because once those vessels hit the U.S. and get pulled from the ports, it's going to be so much work. Truck drivers are going to be overwhelmed. And I understand that the port workers are overwhelmed. They can't handle the pandemic. They blame the drivers and say that it's a driver shortage. It's not a driver shortage. We all know that. All truckers know that every truck stop at night is full. Okay, owner operators are looking for work, trying to pull loads. The ones that's not scared and giving up, they're hustling. They're hustling. And if you are a new driver thinking about getting into trucking, yeah, of course, do it. Don't not get into trucking because what you hear on social media, especially YouTube, about drivers want to sell all their stuff and want to quit. And most of those drivers that say that haven't been in the game very long. Those are the people that got the PPP loans in 2020, started their own business, bought a truck, got into the game, made a few dollars. Now it's getting tough. They want to run. That's okay if they want to do that with themselves. But guess what? That's not how the game is supposed to be played. You don't run from an industry where it's slow. You figure out how to make money. If you're a hustler, this is what trucking is about. Hustling. You want to make the most in trucking, you have to bust your ass to make money in trucking. That is no way around it. If you're working for a major carrier, you're owner operator pulling loads, then guess what? Of course work is going to be okay with you. But when you want to get into big boy trucking and you want to use the load board and you want to try to find work wherever you can, it might be a little difficult now more than ever. It's a big war still going on in Ukraine. That's affecting us. China being on lockdown, that's really affecting us. It's a lot of companies filing bankrupt. That's affecting us. Although all the government money that got handed out in 2020 and 2021, guess what? All that money, we're paying back. We're paying back all that money. It's nothing in this world is for free. Everybody thought we were getting that money and that money was for free. But it really wasn't for free. You know, we're paying that money back with the inflation that's going on in the world. The high cost of living, food being at an all-time high, gas being at an all-time high. And guess what? Everything is going to get higher. Everything is going to get higher. And it's ridiculous. But it's the world we live in. The strong will survive and the weak will perish. It's sad to say, but if you're not a strong person and you don't have a strong mind, then guess what? If you sell your trucking equipment or you quit trucking and get into another game, soon as that other game slows down, are you going to do the same thing? Or are you going to fight? Keep fighting. That's what life's about. You got to never give up on your dreams or what you want to do because you're experiencing hardship. And trucking is one of the most mentally draining jobs in the world. Every day you get behind the wheel, you got to make sure you come home to your family and the people around you come home to their family. You know, truck drivers cut you off, do stupid stuff to try to cause you to get in accidents. Civilians, they try to do the same thing. You got to be a defensive driver. There's so much stuff we got to be faced with. Getting the loads there on time, finding work, always being stressed out mentally when you're behind this wheel. But it conditions you to be a strong-minded person and to be able to face adversity in any area of life. And if you can do good in trucking, you can do good in anything. There's so many new truck drivers in the world. I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately. A lot of good channels out there. But a lot of drivers that barely got into this game 2-3 years ago, they speak about it like they've been trucking for 5-10 years and experienced the industry. They haven't even experienced the industry and they're ready to call it quits. It's a tough industry. And guess what? If you can't handle it, this is something that you shouldn't have been in the beginning. And most people get into a career because they want the money, and the money is good. Don't get into trucking for the money. Get into trucking because you love trucking. That's the only way you're going to survive, and you're going to love this job, and you're going to prosper in driving trucks. Because when you go to work and you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to stay in that industry for as long as God lets you stay in this industry. But the moment I want to get in here for some money, I'm gonna make some fast money, then guess what? You're using the industry for your personal gains, and as soon as it gets bad, guess what the industry is gonna do? It's gonna spit you right out. That's what trucking, anything, nursing, any industry in the world you can think of. You gotta love what you do to be successful in that industry through the bad and the hard times. It's just like a marriage. You don't divorce your wife or your husband if you guys have a rocky few months. You try to work through it and you try to figure it out if you love that person. But if you don't love that person and you don't care to be in that situation, what do? You let it go. And a lot of people go into trucking with that same mindset. I don't love trucking. I don't love the industry. I just want to just be in it just to be in it, to make some money like everybody else. It's good money. Don't be like that. Get into trucking because you love to drive trucks. It's in your blood. You're passionate about driving trucks. I've been driving for 10 years. I don't want to do nothing else. There's no jobs out there that's going to pay you like trucking, being a young man. I done tried every kind of job you can think of. Even people that went to college, got out of high school, went to college and graduated. I have friends that got out of college, got 2 degrees, minor and a major, and guess what? Working in a warehouse. And you know what I was doing? I was driving trucks, had my own place, doing my thing, had my own car, had money in the bank. And those people that went to college were struggling. They were struggling in life, and guess what? Once they got out of college, they couldn't even find a job in the field they went to school for because they didn't have any experience. So now they got out of college and have to pay the student loan back, and that was ridiculous. And me, I understand people want to do certain things in life, but all those people are starting to get into trucking that I know now. 10 years later, they get out of college, bouncing around, trying to figure out life. Nothing was working for them. Now they're trying to get into trucking. So that tells me that there's not too many jobs out there that's paying like trucking. And with trucking, you have to be a wolf. You have to be a savage out here. You know, a lot of drivers right now, they're scraping pennies and they're taking any loads that they possibly can. And yes, that gives trucking a black eye, and it makes it harder for everybody else, because once you bid on the load, if this trucker is going to take it for this price, which is low as hell, why would we raise the rates? And the way I look at it, me personally, I will not take a load if it's not worth my time. If work is slow, you know what I'm gonna do if work is slow? I'm gonna sit my truck up for a little bit and go enjoy life, go on vacation or something. I'm not finna sit up here and waste money on gas, risk breakdowns, risk accidents on the freeway just for a couple $100. Life don't work like that. You gotta get smart with this trucking. Okay, it took me a while to learn the right thing to do owning my own truck. But guess what? It was worth me making those sacrifices. Loads for $500. Guess what you gotta do now? You gotta put $250, $300 on fuel just to go drop that load off and come back home. So that's only a $250 profit. That's not even worth my time. I'm not gonna take that load. I'm gonna sit home, relax, go to the gym, go watch the game at the bar or something, hang out with my fellas, take my lady out, do something that I enjoy doing. All money is not good money. And we all have to, as truck drivers, have to stick together and put our foots down and demand more. We have to demand more from this industry for us to make it. And guess what? It might all be part of something bigger at the end, but the next few months work will pick up and it will get busy, and we're going to be so overwhelmed with work that we're going to be turning down loads. Because I have been in that situation already a few times. Dispatchers reaching out to me, asking me to pull loads for them. Certain companies that I used to pull for back in the day, they're coming to me, asking me, can I come back because they need help? The work is there. You just got to find it. And a lot of good resources. I can give you guys some advice. If you're looking for a job and work is slow, look on Craigslist for company drivers and owner operators. Craigslist is one of the most helpful resources that I ever used looking for work. Legit jobs, not no bull crap jobs. For when I first started driving trucks as a company driver, Craigslist. When I was a lease purchase driver, Craigslist. As an owner operator, Craigslist. These load boards are good, but Craigslist is a very, very good resource for you to find loads. Indeed.com, same thing. You gotta get out there and network. You gotta get out there on these Facebook groups and join these trucking Facebook groups to find work. That's the only way we're going to survive this recession, guys. You know? And you cannot blame nobody but yourself as a trucker if you don't get out there and hustle. You might not want to work 6 days a week, but guess what? You might have to, so you can live better than everybody else. That's the part of the game that a lot of drivers don't like right now. You got to burn up that 70-hour clock and get as much work possible. Local drivers, you might have to go take OTR loads or regional loads so you can live a decent life. You know, and for me, I always been working the ports. To me, that's where I thrive at, the ports. A lot of people are scared of the ports, and that's why I put these port videos up to show you guys the good and the bad with the ports, because a lot of drivers don't explain what actually happens in the port. Some days are beautiful, some days suck. But guess what? Even when I was doing dry van, good days, bad days. When I did reefer, good days, bad days. When I did flatbed, good days, bad days. When I did intermodal, good days, bad days. That's the part of the game. But I'd rather have a bad day at work making money than sitting on the couch watching TV all day not making money. If the money is right, I will be there to make it, if it makes sense. But that's it, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Share this video. I got a lot of stuff coming for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, let me know what you think. If you guys want me to make a video about a certain subject, let me know. Let's get it.